Mass immigration under Biden. Mass deportation under Trump. Two presidents, opposite directions. But ask yourself, who's really profiting from this crisis? Follow the money, and you'll find the truth no one wants to talk about. Mass migration is a trillion-dollar industry. Smugglers charge thousands. Cartels profit. Corporations get cheap labor. NGOs collect millions in donations. This isn't just humanitarian. It's highly profitable. When the headlines don't make sense, follow the money. To truly comprehend the vastness of this immigration industry, we must begin by peeling back its many complex layers, starting with the most visible and human element. At the forefront are the individuals and families, driven by desperation and the desire for a safer future. However, behind their hope lies a sprawling network of interests viewing their movement as an economic transaction. The beneficiaries are numerous, from legal professionals to nonprofits and even criminal organizations. Understanding the immigration industry demands that we look at the complete picture. The truth is far more complex and often more disturbing than the simplified narratives usually presented. To understand the colossal immigration industry, we must first listen to the individual. Imagine your homeland becoming a landscape of despair. Picture an economy so shattered that providing daily bread becomes an agonizing uncertainty. The decision to leave one's home is rarely made lightly. It is born from a profound primal instinct, the drive to survive. This is not merely a choice, but often a desperate necessity. The immigrant's dream becomes the raw material for a sprawling enterprise. The journey towards sanctuary activates a complex chain of services and transactions. The initial friendly face often leads deeper into a network of individuals who facilitate these irregular journeys. These are the human smugglers, often linked to powerful and ruthless criminal cartels. They are operatives within a highly profitable, illicit industry. Their primary motivation is not compassion, but commerce. The migrant becomes a client in a perilous transaction, placing their fate and resources into the hands of these shadowy figures. The journey for many migrants does not end upon reaching American soil. It merely transitions into a new, complex phase. A vast ecosystem of industries stands ready to engage and profit. The initial chaos creates fertile ground for various services. The profit motive shifts within the host country systems. Nonprofits and legal services play significant roles. Yet, financial undercurrents are powerful and pervasive. Some lawyers are protesting, saying that immigrants are not receiving due process. How about parents, American citizens in family court, who have their due process suppressed by the actions of some attorneys? Should we only be concerned about due process for illegal immigrants? Or should we demand that American parents get due process and stop receiving injustice in family court because of the special interests of some attorneys? Immigration is a global issue, with foreign governments playing strategic roles. Emigration can be a tool for economic gain, with remittances providing crucial support for families and national economies. Some countries rely on remittances more than international aid or major exports. Governments may encourage emigration through training programs and streamlined passport processes. Organized crime plays a brutal role in the immigration industry. Cartels control human smuggling routes, turning migration into a profitable business. They maintain control through violence and intimidation. Migrants face appalling conditions, including overcrowding and violence. Organized crime profits from human smuggling, generating billions annually. This wealth funds their operations and corrupts institutions, undermining the rule of law. Money laundering integrates these illicit profits into the formal economy, making it harder to trace. Cartels buy influence and protection at all levels of government, ensuring their operations continue unimpeded. The principle of due process is fundamental to American justice. It is a solemn promise enshrined in our Constitution. It guarantees fairness, impartiality, and the right to be heard before the law. This ideal stands as a bulwark against arbitrary power and a cornerstone of individual liberty. But a troubling question emerges from the shadows of our own legal system. Is this sacred promise applied equally to all? For a growing number of American citizens, the answer feels like a resounding no. Their encounters with the courts leave them feeling disillusioned, their voices seemingly lost in the bureaucratic maze. Look closely at the harrowing experiences within our nation's family courts. Here, American parents face battles that can tear their lives apart. They fight for custody of their children, often amidst a barrage of accusations and complex legal maneuvers. Many recount stories of feeling railroaded, their side unheard, their rights seemingly diminished. They describe a system where fair trials feel elusive, where the scales of justice appear tipped against them from the start. We hear powerful organizations and attorneys passionately advocating for the due process rights of illegal migrants. Yet, where is the equivalent, fervent outcry for these American mothers and fathers? Consider also the plight of pro se litigants, ordinary citizens attempting to navigate the labyrinthine American legal system without the costly assistance of a lawyer. They are often met with dismissal, impatience, or outright hostility. Court procedures are complex, designed by lawyers for lawyers. The average person stands little chance against seasoned legal professionals or an indifferent bureaucracy. They face crippling court fees, procedural traps, and a system that often seems to punish them for simply trying to represent themselves. Justice, for them, can feel like an unattainable luxury, reserved only for those who can afford to pay its steep price. The contrast becomes stark and deeply unsettling. There are loud, persistent, and well-funded demands for due process when it concerns individuals crossing our borders. This advocacy is, in itself, understandable within a rights-based framework. However, a painful silence often greets the due process struggles of American citizens within their own country's legal system. Fathers, mothers, small business owners, and everyday workers find their fundamental rights challenged, their voices ignored. This perceived double standard breeds a profound sense of abandonment. It fuels a narrative of forgotten Americans left to fend for themselves in a system they no longer trust. Why are so many lawyers fighting for the due process rights of undocumented immigrants, but staying silent when American parents lose custody of their children without a fair trial? Isn't due process supposed to protect all of us? Follow the money and you will know why. Thanks for watching. Please share and like this video to support the channel.